Welkom in my Afrikaanse klas, graad 12's. Ons is besig met kringe in 'n bos. Vandag gaan ons kyk na 3 aspekte. Ons gaan kyk na die vertellersperspektief, ons gaan kyk na motiewe en dan simbole in die storie. Daar's ons prentjie. Goed. Vertellersperspektief. Die storie is in die derde persoons verteller. So wat ons weet van die derde persoons verteller, hy's nie alwetend nie en hy's nie alomteenwoordig nie. Ons weet net wat Saul dink en ervaar. So we don't know what goes on in Kate's head if she doesn't tell us. We don't understand how McDonald's head works. We don't even know what goes on in the McDonald's house. So we only have what this person that is observing the characters, we only knows what that person is telling us. Goed, ons weet die sirkelmotief, daar's kringe, and it's definitely linked to that. Ek gaan nie baie tyd hier aanspandeer nie, want dit is goed wat julle weet. Saul se kring begin in die bos, eindig in die bos met Oupoot. So ons het al baie hieroor gepraat, julle kan daarna kyk. Oupoot en Saul, nou hier is 'n interessante sirkel. Saul wil graag vir Oupoot self skiet, om hom met waardigheid te laat doodgaan. Iemand wat hom liefhet, eerder as 'n skerminkel wat dink Oupoot is 'n moordenaar. Ons weet Oupoot loop in sirkels, want hy wil vir hom wys wat gaan aan in Meelbosdorp of Meeldorp. En dan die 2 sirkels en die 3de keer word hy geskiet. So ek gaan nou nie vreeslik verder daarop uitbrei nie. Saul en Kate se verhouding, ons het gesê dit is 'n sirkel. Hulle begin by mekaar, hulle ontmoet mekaar. Dan is daar teenkanting van haar ouers, kom weer by mekaar uit en dan op die ou end bly hulle op Knysna. Die uitbuiting van die houtkappers word 'n bose sirkel genoem. It's a bad circle. It's it's a degrading circle. Die houtkappers doen hulle werk, die houtkopers en ook die regering, die Britse regering met die bote en die treinspore, vra meer hout. Die houtkappers lewer die hout, maar omdat die houtkopers gierig is daar allerlei oneerlike goed wat aangaan. En die houtkappers bly in die skuld, they stay in debt, so they have to keep on chopping wood, and in that way they are cleaning out the bush. Not really, but they did a lot of damage. Die ontdekking van goud is ook 'n bose sirkel. Ons weet, daar was 'n goudrif, ekskuus, daar's 'n spelfout, 'n goudriffie by Meelbos, toe kom daar baie goud delwers, die plekkie word verwoes. Op die ou end sien hulle dat daar's net spoelgoud, just little pieces of wood, a gold that would come through the soil and then you wash it out in the river. There's not a thread of gold where you can get big chunks of gold. And this little town, Meelbos, became a ghost town. And you can imagine the forest in a skeleton way, just as a skeleton. That was all that was left. So the destruction to get rich. And then this one we did discuss, Paul wat sy lewe sien as 'n skewe sirkel. And the essence of it is that people are trapped in this skew circle where they stay in debt. Even in modern society, we see that people live above their means, and then they have to keep on doing what they're doing. They feel trapped because they can't get out of this debt situation. Goed, kom ons gaan aan na die simbole. Nou hier, dit is nou vir my baie interessant. Ek hoop jy moet nou jou veiligheidsgordel, you have to fasten your seatbelt now. En jy moet nou jou potlood in jou hand hê en jy moet jou ore oopmaak. Want dis baie interessant hierdie. 'n Simbool is 'n voorwerp wat iets anders verteenwoordig. So it's a item or a thing that represents something else. Kom ons skryf net daar. Represent something else. And I've got 3 lovely examples here out of the book. The first one is the forest. Now, if you think back on your life as a little child, I hope your parents read you some fairy tales. If you think about the story of Little Red Riding Hood, what happened with her in the forest when she went to her grandma? She was tested in that with the wolf and the quick road and the long road and the dangerous situation. If you think back about Hansel and Gretel, the forest is a place of unknown dangers. Ne? And in Kringe in 'n Bos, it's representing the lack of insight into yourself, but also into what you are doing. The lack of insight. And spiritual here is not necessarily religious. Another way that we can say it, it's a lack of emotional intelligence. All right, very interesting. Okay, so kom ons kyk na die bos. Die bos as 'n plek is ondeurdringbaar. It's so thick and full of trees and plants. It's kind of isolating the people that live there. And they become not well informed. They are trapped in their own short-sightedness. Saul sien die geelhoutboom, which is a magnificent tree, as the same as the tree in paradise in the Bible, where that big tree in the middle of the garden was known as the tree of all knowledge. Like Adam and Eve, their eyes opened to other possibilities, and at a young age of 14, Saul's eyes opened when he realized the grown-ups are lying. And it's interesting, the link between Saul and Adam and Eve, because they weren't obedient and they ate from that tree, they had to leave the Garden of Eden. In the same way, once Saul's eyes opened and he couldn't live with this backwardsness anymore, he also left. Just an interesting symbol here. The second one that I want to speak about is die blou bokkie se gal. Now, you know the story. It's a symbol of short-sightedness. We have talked about that. Or just pure being dumb van die borsmense. They stuck to their traditions, what they believed to be the truth. They didn't ask questions. They didn't question anything that happened to them. And they just stayed put in their situation because they were trapped in more than one way. And then at a stage, there was a stryery, words between Kate and Saul. And then she says to him that she really doesn't believe that elephants are killed for their ivory teeth. En dan sê Saul, dis 'n regte blou bokkie se gal storie, which means it's nonsense. It's rubbish. It's not the truth. Okay. Dan kom ons by die derde simbool, en dit is die simbool van goud. Now, goud is symbolic of purity, of holiness, of something that is complete. Even for Saul, he sees it as the only grace, die enigste genade in sy lewe. To him, it's like spots of sunshine, because it will bring him a better life. If he can get some gold and he can exchange it for money, for real money, he can do things with that money. One of the things that he did, he paid off his father's debt. But on the other hand, it's that gold calf in the Bible, where the people made themselves this thing to worship when Moses went up the mountain to meet with God. It's that greediness. It's also the Midas, the Greek mythology. Gold is the ultimate form of riches. And the gold diggers didn't think about anything else in their chase to get this gold, their hands on this gold. And of course, the destruction that they left behind. Okay, so it's positive, but also negative. That is my last little piece of the puzzle for now. Tot ek julle weer sien.